Hey fellow watchers of the multiverse, welcome to an exciting new episode of Spooky Tuesdays. Today we continue our terrifying scenario with part 2 of What If Leon Had the Venom Symbiote in Resident Evil 4. I want to give a massive shout out to Zachary Stonebraker for making this one possible. Zachary is the head writer and idea maker for this series on the channel, so let us know what other spooky stories you'd like to see next. We're excited to announce a big new series on the channel, bringing you even more thrilling what-if scenarios and spooky tales. So to celebrate, we have a special poster for sale, and all of the proceeds go towards funding Season 2 of our animated what-if series and high-quality content. Your support is crucial for us to continue creating amazing stories and bringing your favorite characters to life in new and exciting ways. By supporting us on Patreon and Substack, you'll get exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and early access to videos. So thank you so much for joining us on this epic journey through the multiverse. Stay tuned for even more incredible stories and adventures. 2 months after the events of the first part. Location in the woods. If there was anything these men enjoyed more than anything, it was hunting deers and shooting down unsuspecting campers. They were dressed in horrible-looking clothes, and their breath smelt like fermented yeast. They had guns slung at the backs with daggers attached to their belts. According to these men, there was nothing like being too prepared. The men were talking about their last feat. They had attacked a camp just south of their current position, killing all but one camper, a young girl who they turned into their personal pleasure. As they spoke, their masculine tones carried a sense of disgust to whoever would pass by to hear them. Perhaps this was what prompted what happened next. They heard a sound in the woods, swift and way too sudden. One of the men turned, pulling out his gun and pointing it to the trees. He turned to his partner, who looked more skeptical but was still prepared nevertheless. Before the partner could say a thing, he felt something grab his leg. Losing his balance in a second, he screamed as his body was dragged into the darkness. The other man began to shoot at random, roaring that whatever was in the woods should act like a man and come out of hiding. However, when he turned and saw a monster in front of him, he knew that he spoke too soon. Location: underground bunker. Unknown location. The doctor held her notes in her right hand, occasionally using her left hand to straighten her glasses. As she studied the diagrams in her notes, she turned to look at the being in front of her. It was a dead body, except it had not decomposed yet. It was very intriguing, she had to admit. Normally, it would take quite the host of chemicals to prevent the body from decomposing, but here it was, doing just fine on its own. She walked towards the body and instructed her companions to turn it over, which they did immediately. Observing the back of this body, she could not believe that there was a wound on this back, one that had cost this body its life. In fact, an autopsy report had confirmed that this person had obtained a grave spinal injury, courtesy of a bullet wound. The person died in seconds. However, in the past 2 months, the doctor observed that not only had the wound healed up on its own, but every internal damage done to the body had healed. Truly, she would have loved to conduct personal research on this, but she was contracted by the US government, and everything she saw here had to be kept top secret. Flaunting this rule would cost her her freedom, which she prized dearly. When would he wake up? She heard one of her companions ask. By my calculations, he'll wake in 5, 4, 3, 2. Then the man's eyes opened, causing the doctor's companions to step back, horrified. Juxtaposed to her companions, the doctor seemed very pleased. "Welcome back, Agent Leon Kennedy." In 48 hours, Leon was well tested and was sitting down on his bed, tired of entertaining questions from the various doctors and nurses that stepped into his room. Deep down, he understood that they were just doing their jobs, but that didn't make it less annoying though. In this time, he had been able to understand everything. As far as his memories could inform him, the last thing he ever saw was Jack Krauser shooting down a dying Osmund Saddler. He recalled that Krauser was the reason he died too. Krauser had murdered him by shooting him. The rest of the story had managed to come naturally to him. Turns out he had been infected with an alien symbiote during his mission in Spain. As a result of this, Saddler's camp got divided, as they all tried to claim the symbiote from themselves. The battle had ended when Leon sacrificed himself for the president's daughter, Ashley, by transferring the symbiote to her. However, Leon still had questions. His primary question was definitely how he was alive. He heard his room door open and he sighed, expecting another round of checkups from the medical personnel. However, to his shock, he saw a rather familiar face. What made her way too familiar was the fact that she was supposed to be dead. It was Ada Wong, and the last time Leon had seen her, he had killed her. Leon could remember the scene like it was yesterday. Ada Wong had encountered him and Ashley in the castle back at Spain. She must have been on a side mission for the government or another organization because she attempted to take the symbiote. However, Leon had lost control and had attacked her. This attack claimed her life, but here was Ada Wong in front of him and in perfect health. Moreover, Leon did not see the thirst for revenge in her eyes. Quite oddly, she seemed to have forgiven him for killing her. When Leon asked what was going on, Ada was more than happy to offer an explanation. She noted that before Leon died, he had indeed transferred the symbiote to Ashley. However, after his death, what he did not know was that the symbiote bonded with him on a deeper level, reaching a cellular state. Remnants of the symbiote had remained in Leon's system, and these remnants possessed unique healing properties. However, since it was not the full symbiote, it spent months repairing the damaged cells in Leon's body, finally resuscitating him. Leon, hearing the story, noted that the story failed to explain how Ada was still alive. Ada smiled and noted she was coming to that. She noted that when the US government discovered the healing properties of the symbiote, they had extracted it from Leon's cells and were able to produce a copy of the symbiote, a clone of Leon's symbiote. These copies possessed a very high reanimation rate, resurrecting Ada in seconds after she was injected with the symbiote. Now, she was a super soldier, her regular human capacities now augmented by the symbiote. Satisfied with these stories, Leon proceeded to ask another that had been on his mind for very long. How was Ashley? Ada smiled, noting that this was the crux of their next mission. Apparently, Ashley had been on the run ever since her last encounter with Leon. However, she was doing a very bad job at hiding. Everywhere she went, a pile of dead bodies followed, which brought attention to her. The US government's major priority was to extract Ashley before Jack Krauser did, and clean up her messes before somebody smart figured it out. That moment, Ada asked if Leon was up for the task. This prompted Leon to ask when he was never ready. Location: unnamed bar, Alaska. The girl was quiet throughout, dressed in her black clothes and her dirty blonde hair. She had a drink in hand and she appeared to be minding her business. However, when a man in the bat threatened an innocent waitress, the girl came out of her quietness, her eyes turning black. She proceeded to attack the men, shooting black spikes out of her hands. In time, the man and every other person that tried to attack her were dead. The moment Ashley realized what she had done, she was overcome with a great deal of guilt. However, she had been dealing with this for 2 months, and her sensors were becoming dead to guilt. In her time on the run, she had killed so many people, random bad men she encountered, and many Illuminados sent to capture her by Krauser. Fortunately, she had not killed any innocent person, so she believed she was not beyond redemption. She picked up her glass and finished her drink, preparing to leave, when she turned and saw a face she did not believe she would ever see again. "It's been a minute," Leon said as he stepped into the bar. Location: helicopter in transit. As the helicopter moved, Ashley proceeded to ask Leon how he found her. Leon noted that he had basically followed her moving patterns and figured out where she would be. What Leon did not tell her was that he had also tracked her using his connection with the symbiote in her system. Ada Wong was in the co-pilot seat alongside the pilot. As they moved, Ashley asked how Leon and Ada survived, and Leon noted that the symbiote was more powerful than they thought. When Leon asked Ashley about her relationship with the symbiote, Ashley scoffed. She noted that she had lost control to the symbiote multiple times, taking so many lives in the course of her running. As she spoke, Leon observed that there was a fresh stain of blood in her nostrils. Seeing this, Leon quickly noted that based on what he had observed with the earlier scene, no one had ever come close to attacking Ashley, so she definitely was not hurt to bleed like that. Then it hit him. Ashley was dying. Before he could wrap his head around it, there was a loud bang as the helicopter rocked in midair. "We're hit," the pilot roared. Indeed, they were hit by a missile. It didn't take long for Leon to surmise that Krauser had somehow tracked and found them. They were going to land with a thud. Location: in the woods. Landing in the woods took a toll on the helicopter, as it was damaged beyond repair. However, that was not the only setback. The pilot had been killed in the crash landing. However, things was about to take a drastic turn. Multiple Illuminados attacked the remaining survivors, causing them to immediately set up a defense. However, in the process, Ashley was attacked first, being knocked out by a random Illuminado. Leon and Ada tried to save her, but were occupied by other Illuminados. On seeing this, Ada screamed that the symbiote should not get into Krauser's hands. She proceeded to aim her gun towards Ashley's unconscious body. However, as Leon noticed this, he roared at her, stretching his hands towards her. Suddenly, Ada froze, until Ashley was taken out of the scene. The remaining Illuminados fled, leaving Leon and Ada alone. Location: underground bunker, unknown location. As they returned back to their headquarters, Leon could not understand why the location had been kept secret from him. Nevertheless, it was inconsequential right now. As they discussed, Leon warned that him and Ada could not afford to be on different pages. They had one mission, and that was to retrieve the symbiote and Ashley alive, as well as keep Jack Krauser away from the symbiote. Ada attempting to kill Ashley was something that was not meant to repeat itself. Ada nodded, immediately asking what Leon did to her earlier. She had lost her will, and it seemed like she was overshadowed by Leon's will. Leon quickly surmised that as Ada was raised from the dead with copies of the symbiote from Leon's cells, Leon had the ability to mentally manipulate those symbiotes in her cells to control her will. Realizing this, Leon admitted he had an idea, but he would need 3 of their best agents who had been lost on the field. Location: Krauser's lair. Ashley was sedated and tied to an operating table. Many Illuminados gathered around her. Jack Krauser stood by the sidelines, joyful that the symbiote would soon be removed from Ashley and given to him. The intention was to use a sound-based machine to eject the symbiote from Ashley so that he could merge with it himself. In time, they started off the process, and the symbiote was forcefully ejected from a screaming Ashley. As the symbiote left her, Krauser smiled as he approached the symbiote. He did not expect what happened next. There was a loud bang as someone changed the trajectory of the symbiote by firing multiple gunshots at it. Krauser and his men were shocked to see Leon, Ada, and 3 other super soldiers. With their enhancement, it was not difficult to find Ashley. Then the battle began. Ada sparred with Krauser one-on-one. The battle ended with Ada impaling Krauser with a pole she found nearby. Meanwhile, Leon and the other super soldiers sparred against the Illuminados. However, Leon realized that the symbiote was slowly returning to Ashley to use as its host. If the symbiote merged with Ashley again, she would surely die, and the symbiote seemed to feed on the toxins generated by her dying cells, hence why it was running back to her. Leon quickly jumped in the way of the symbiote, merging with it all over again. As he and the symbiote became one, as they did 2 months ago, he screamed. 3 weeks later. Location: beach, somewhere in the United States. The president and his daughter Ashley were seated together smiling as they enjoyed the time they spent together after being separated for so long. From the distance, Leon and Ada observed them, proud that they completed their mission and prevented a symbiote from merging with one of the most dangerous men in the country. The 3 super soldiers that were revived were deployed to different missions, with Leon's telepathic connection to them serving as a guarantee. Moreover, with Leon now merging with the symbiote again, his link to them was stronger. "Why do I feel this is just the beginning of our actual trials?" Ada asked, concerned. Leon did not answer. He took a look at his black veins and winced. And that is going to be it for part 2 of What If Leon Had the Symbiote in Resident Evil 4. Now, we're going to be continuing with even more. We're going to be going to all the different Resident Evil video games, and I'm very excited, and I think Zachary is definitely excited to do even more because we got so much more content coming at you, and we highly appreciate all of the support on this channel. So again, thank you very much for continuing to support us as we continue to write so much more content. It's been a lot. I've been writing a lot, and it's hard to, get a break sometimes. So we've been just kind of chilling recently. And again, I can't thank you enough. So we're doing very well here on the channel, and I know that we can do even better. So do make sure to subscribe, as that really goes a long way. But thank you again so much, and we will see you in part 3 of this epic series. But again, thank you for watching this Spooky Tuesday, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.